Honestly, I'm only making this video because f*** Lurantis.
Rolling, I can never get enough. I've been up too long and I way too drunk, but we straight up in it and we feeling.
Sun and Moon has been a real game changer for the Pokemon franchise. One of the main features of Pokemon has always been taking on the 8 gym leaders of that region, and these new games took that and switched it up on us, and I think that was awesome and a great move on their part. I love pretty much everything in this game, but the thing I love most is the difficulty increase. We've been asking for something like this for so long, and they finally gave it to us. That's why today I really wanted to bring you a video about the Totem Pokemon that I found to be very hard, aka the hardest. As always, with an opinion-based list like this, you may find that I have some differing opinions than you. You may have found these Pokemon quite easy to deal with, but I, on the other hand, had some problems with them. Alolan Raticate and Gumshoos were pretty easy, especially early on if you caught a Pick-a-Peck, as it learns Rock Smash, which is quad effective to Alolan Raticate and super effective against Gumshoos. They can't really hit you for super effective damage, and you shouldn't really have a problem with them at all. The only possible downside is their little defense boost from their Totem power, but even then you shouldn't have a problem taking them down. As the game's first bosses, they're not hard at all, as they shouldn't be. So the second Totem Pokemon you'll encounter is Wishiwashi. Wishiwashi is very bulky and eats up hits like no tomorrow. It also gets a defense stat boost at the start of the battle, so I hope you picked up a nice special attacker with maybe grass or electric type moves along the way. I'd recommend a Charge Bug with Charge, but even then with the defense boost, it becomes like a Pokemon reenactment of David and Goliath. Also, there's just this sense of satisfaction of beating down a giant fish monster with a tiny little box bug. Of course, if you feel like grinding it out, you could hunt for a Pikachu in the Howley City. Once Wishiwashi sets up a rain dance, its water gun will blast you into the next dimension. Its SOS Pokemon are Alamamamamamala and another Wishiwashi. Alamamola is famous for being a bulky water type that also eats up plenty of hits, and not only that, but it has access to Helping Hand and Heal Pulse. The other Wishiwashi isn't much better, and the only solace to this is that it's not a high enough level to activate its school form, but it can still set up an Aqua Ring to regen health and boost its pal's attacks with Helping Hand. If the school form sets up a Rain Dance and gets the Helping Hand Water Gun stab boost, you're looking at a complete sweep here. Even with a grass type, you might get blown back to the next dimension, so I hope you like going for a swim and or drowning because Wishiwashi is most definitely taking you under. Salazzle is a rather interesting one, as at the start of the battle, it gets a special defense boost. This is the first special defense boost we've seen so far, which is why it makes it more interesting. Even with a decently strong water move, odds are it'll live that hit, and not only that, but it'll probably proc its Pitaya Berry, giving it that special attack boost. Although hitting it with a ground type move should one-shot it, but hey, maybe you don't have one of those. Even a Mud Slap would suffice in all honesty. You could probably head over to the ranch and maybe pick up a Mudbraid and knock it out. Its ally Pokemon are just silent it, but be careful because if Salazzle manages to hit you with a Toxic, that might just spell the end, as it can pummel you with Venom Drenches and its ally Salandit can Venoshock you. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the easier ones, and the trial beforehand is actually kind of funny in my opinion. I mean, just look at that random hiker. How did he even get there? Or that incredibly happy Salazzle. By far the hardest, without a doubt, is Lurantis. It really makes me regret destroying all those foam Antis hills when I was younger. For all the older fans out there, it's even been compared to Whitney's Miltank. The coverage this thing has is insane, and its totem power gives it a speed boost. It's also holding a power herb, enabling that first turn stab Solar Blade, which will probably more than likely kill whatever you sent out first, giving it time to get an ally up with the new SOS feature. It's also rocking the all-powerful X Scissor and Razor Leaf, and to top it all off, it has Synthesis. So just when you think you got it, boom, it heals itself right back up. If you thought that was bad, it can call one of 2 allies. Both are pretty annoying, but if your luck is bad enough to get a Cast Form, then boy do I feel sorry for you. You see, Cast Form can bring up that Sunny Day, allowing infinite, well, 5, but if you last that long, then props to you, Solar Blades, while also dropping some hot weather balls right on you. Trumbeak is probably a lot better for your sanity, but not by much, as it gets Supersonic, which is just straight up annoying, and it's also got Screech to lower those defenses for Lurantis to punch holes in your team. Honestly, I didn't have too much trouble with Vikavolt, but I can see why it would be difficult. At the start of the battle, all of its stats are boosted thanks to its totem power, and on top of that, it's got the levitate ability, making your ground type moves absolutely useless. It's also holding an Aqua Berry, reducing the damage from your fire type moves. If it manages to get a charge up and then hit you with a spark, it's safe to say that you're in for a real shock. You see, spark boosts the user's next electric attack by 100%, on top of raising the user's special defense. Something I think is kind of funny here is its SOS Pokemon. He calls in a Charjabug, which seems normal, right? Well, Charjabug has an ability called Battery Boost, which boosts the ally's special attack moves, but Vikavolt doesn't know any special attack moves. I guess it's good that it doesn't, or this battle would be a lot harder than it needed to be. Okay, this one is very close to Totem Lurantis's in terms of being just straight up annoying. It gets all of its stat boosted by one stage at the start of the battle, and because of its ability, it basically has a free substitute up, guaranteeing that it'll call in at least one of its two allies. Plus, Mimikyu hits like a truck, so I hope you don't send anything out that's weak against Ghost or Fairy. I also hope you didn't plan on burning or paralyzing it because it's also holding a Lumberry. As for its SOS Pokemon, it can call either a Haunter or a Gengar. Each one has Hypnosis, so there's no escaping that nightmare of a battle easily. I'd say the Gengar would be an easier Pokemon to take down in all honesty, especially if you have a Mudsdale with Bulldoze or something. I guess Gengar's Dex entry in Pokemon Sun is right. If you see a Gengar, there's no escaping it. Give up. Last but certainly not least, we have the dragon of this gen, Kommo-o. To start the battle off, it's got all of its stats boosted by one stage. So with that +1 speed, it's going to get a free hit on you. Maybe even multiple if you don't have anything that can outspeed. And with its signature move, Clanging Scales, unless you have a Steel or a Fairy type, I don't think you'll be living that for too long. Clanging Scales is a special dragon type move with 110 base power, and Kommo-o has a pretty high base special attack stat, around 100. Couple that with a +1 to its special attack, and you're in for a world of pain here. Luckily, it only has 5 PP though, so I guess you could find solace in that. Maybe facing this Pokemon on its own wouldn't be so bad, but it's going to call in some SOS Pokemon. It can call in either a Scizor or Hakamo-o. Both seem to exist purely just to attack you, or with Hakamo, set up workups until it can Sky Uppercut you into a new dimension. Now that we've introduced all of them, and why I personally found them to be hard, I'm going to list them in the order of difficulty to me. Feel free to leave your own hardest list down in the comments, and I'm actually interested in seeing which ones gave you the most trouble, as well as which starter you picked, because I feel like that did play a role in what we found difficult. Number 7 was Raticate or Gumshoes. By far the easiest one, but it's also the first one, so that's to be expected. Number 6, Salazzle. Number 5, Vikavolt. Number 4, Kommo-o. Number 3, Wishiwashi. Number 2, Mimikyu. And number 1, Lurantis. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like as it is greatly appreciated. Subscribe for more Pokemon content, and be sure to let me know which Totem Pokemon gave you the most